That's where they're working now. Okay, it's 5 o'clock. I'd like to call this November 2022 Planning Commission meeting to order. I would ask you to turn off your cell phones and any other devices. Do not disturb the meeting. Anyone wishing to address the board, please come to the microphone and state your name and address. I'd like to welcome Cheryl Graham. She's from the Howard County Planning Commission. Cheryl, good to see you, dear. The first thing on the agenda is the approval of minutes from October 11th.
Move to approve. Second.
Any questions, comments, or concerns on the minutes? All in favor of approving the minutes, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The minutes are approved. Director Schuline.
First case tonight, Mr. President, is case P12, P22, petition of Amanda Carr, Goyer Boulevard Holdings, requesting approval of primary and final plat for Harvard Crossing. This is at 2501 East Boulevard.
Move for approval.
Second. There's someone here to present this case?
Lane Phelps, 40th Parallel Surveying. Harvard Crossing minor subdivision is two-lot subdivision encompassing entire parcel located at the southeast corner of Boyer and Boulevard. I believe we've addressed all the questions asked at the plat meeting. If you have any questions, I'd try to answer them for you.
Any questions from the board? Everything good from plat?
Yep.
Is there any questions from the audience? Any questions from the board before I call for a vote? All in favor of case P12A22, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The motion is approved. Director Schuline.
Thank you.
Next case is item number 3, and that's case P15A22. The petitioner has asked for a continuance for that case. So if you're in the audience and you're here for case P15A22, it will not be heard this evening. So the next case, Mr. President, will be case P13P22, the petition of Stellantis requesting primary plat approval for Battery Farm subdivision. This is at 219 East 300 North.
Move for approval.
Second.
Someone here to present this case, please step forward.
They're good on everything. Plan, you just have the one item. Yeah, she emailed it to me. She emailed it to me like the next day.
I'm Steve Sorensen with PEA Group, Vice President. Our address is 1849 Pond Run, Auburn Hills, Michigan, 48326. I'm here on behalf of the petitioner, Brian Schwing of Stellantis. He could not be here. We are the civil engineers for the project. With me tonight are also Jeff Smith with Yates. He is the general superintendent for the project, and also Steve Zimiat, who is representing Stellantis Building Group as well. Thank you. I also want to just mention that working with your city staff has been a very good experience for us, and they've been, available, especially, as we deal with the engineering side of things, and just thank you for that.
Thank you, appreciate it.
So, with that, like you stated, we're here for primary plat approval for the subdivision for the proposed factory. One lot, just over 300 acres with 2 tracks. And again, I'm here to try to answer any questions that I can.
Any questions from the board? Everything good from plat?
Yes.
Any questions from the audience? Any questions for the board before I call for a vote? All in favor of case P13P22, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The motion is approved.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Next case tonight, Mr. President, is case P22Z22, the petition of Paul Wyman requesting Hinks Minor, representing Hinks Minor, requesting the Kokomo City Plan Commission petition and recommend to the Kokomo Common Council for change in zone classification from C1 small to medium scale general commercial to IS institutional, and this is at 1401 East Hoffer Street.
Move for approval. Second.
Good evening, everyone. Paul Wyman, 1533 West Lincoln Road, Kokomo, Indiana. Here tonight requesting a change in zoning from C1 to institutional for the property located at the corner of South Elizabeth Street and East Hoffer Street. And the aerial, you'll see this is the former EDS property, very large facility that was there prior to the tornado and was destroyed during that event. And so since then, it's been a vacant lot. You can actually see the outline of the building in this aerial just by virtue of how large that it was. We have a church that is interested in purchasing that and building their church there, and the church actually worships across the street. So if you just look a little bit southwest in the old bank building there, that's where the church currently is. That building's about 7,000 square feet, give or take, that they're in right now. And so they'll be looking to build their facility across the street and continue to have their worship services right there in the area. So we're asking for a rezoning to institutional.
Any questions from the board before we have staff report? Director Schilling.
Staff report for case P22Z22. Robert Hanks is requesting a change in zone classification for the parcel address listed above. This address will be utilized as a church. All neighboring base zonings are compatible with the IS zoning. The adjoining properties are zoned as, let me start all over there. The adjoining properties are zoned as follows: to the north, R1 and R4, to the south, LI and C2, to the east, C2, and to the west, OC, which is office commercial. According to the City of Kokomo Comprehensive Plan Future Land Use Map, this area of East Hoffer is located in an area proposed for general commercial. This commercial area accommodates a wide variety of large and small-scale commercial uses. Typically, this category is for commercial uses that cater to vehicular traffic with high visibility from major roadways. Under land use goals, encourage orderly and responsible development to promote health, safety, and quality of life of residents in the City of Kokomo while maintaining Kokomo as a leading community for affordable housing. Relevant land use objectives are to encourage adequate land for residential, commercial, industrial, institutional, and recreational uses. Designate specific districts in the community suitable for residential, commercial, industrial, institutional, and recreational uses. As the city continues to grow, transportation planning becomes increasingly important. The goal of the City of Kokomo Comprehensive Plan Transportation Map is to enhance connections throughout the city for improved safety, function, and efficiency for all common modes of transportation, including vehicular, bicycle, and pedestrian networks. According to the transportation map, this area of East Hoffer is defined as a major collector. This is a street designed to facilitate the collection of traffic from local streets. Also, it provides circulation within neighborhood areas and convenient ways to reach arterial streets. The traffic count for this area of East Hoffer Street is 10,435 cars per day. The requested zoning change is compatible with all adjoining zonings. Therefore, the staff desires that the board forward a favorable recommendation to the Kokomo Common Council.
Any questions from the board? Now we've had staff report. Any questions from the audience? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of case P22Z22, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The motion is approved. It will now go to the city council and will be presented there by Councilman Grieco.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
The next case, Mr. President, is case P23Z22, the petition of MKW LLC. Andrew Moore requesting the Kokomo City Plan Commission petition and recommended the Kokomo Common Council for a change in zone classification from IS institutional uses to C2, medium to large-scale general commercial for property described. This is at 955 East, 400 South, and it's about 5 acres.
Move for approval.
Second. Someone here to present this case?
My name is Andy Moore, 5715 North Ashford Drive, Columbia City, Indiana. And I'm asking for you to consider changing the zoning. Currently, there's a church at the corner of address 955 East, 400 South, Southview First Assembly Church that we're looking to have zoning changed to put a Kubota tractor dealership in. I'd be happy to answer any questions in addition to the request that I submitted.
Any questions from the board?
Are you looking to tear that building down and rebuild, or just
No, we
modify?
would use, that building's 11,000 square feet, and we would want to add about a 2,000 square foot addition to the front to make it look a little bit more retail. And we've actually already submitted the plans for that as well, so the city should have a copy of what we hope to do there. We've got another location in Warsaw, Indiana, that it would look exactly like with that addition.
Any other questions for the board before we have staff report? Director Sheila.
Staff report for case P23Z22. Andrew Moore is requesting a change in zone classification for the parcel address listed above. This address will be utilized as a Kubota tractor dealership. The base zonings of the neighboring properties that are compatible with C2 are ag, institutional, and AR. The adjoining properties are zoned as follows: AR, agricultural or residential, and R3, medium-density residential, agricultural to the south, and IS to the south, institutional use, to the east, institutional use, and to the west, institutional use. According to the City of Kokomo Comprehensive Plan Future Land Use Map, this area of 400 South is located in an area proposed for medium-density residential. This is an area designated for single-family housing of varying types between 3 to 6 dwelling units per acre. Typical medium-density housing would be single-family detached duplexes, triplexes, condominiums, townhomes, and cluster housing. Under land use goals, encourage orderly and responsible development to promote health, safety, and quality of life of residents in the city of Kokomo while maintaining Kokomo as a leading community for affordable housing. Relevant land use objectives are to encourage adequate land for residential, commercial, industrial, institutional, and recreational uses. Designate specific districts in the community suitable for residential, commercial, industrial, institutional, and recreational uses. As the city continues to grow, transportation planning becomes increasingly important. The efficient movement of goods, services, and people directly affect the quality of life of residents. The goal of the City of Kokomo Comprehensive Plan Transportation Map is to enhance connections throughout the city for improved safety, function, and efficiency for all common modes of transportation, including vehicular, bicycle, and pedestrian networks. According to the transportation map, this area 400 South is defined as a major arterial. This is a street with access control, restricted parking, and collects and distributes traffic to and from minor arterials. The traffic count for this area 400 South is 1,917 cars. According to the City of Kokomo zoning ordinance, the requested zoning change is compatible with the following base zonings. Therefore, the staff desires that the board forward a favorable recommendation to the Kokomo Common Council.
Any questions from the board? Now, we've had staff report. Any questions from the audience? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of case P23Z22, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The motion is approved. It now goes to City Council and will be presented there by Councilman Grieco. Thank you. Director Sheila.
The next case is case P20Z22, petition of Greater Development Alliance Incorporated, requesting to the Kokomo City Plan Commission petition and recommended the Kokomo Common Council for a change in zone classification from US 31 agricultural overlay to US office industrial agricultural overlay. There are, I believe, 9 properties involved in this, if I remember correctly. TJ, do I need to read all this all the way through, these 9 properties?
Well, no, just summarize, I suppose. This is the previous,
Yes,
related to
this-
the previous case. that
Yes,
we
for the
went
board, these are the exact same properties that we rezoned last month. We rezoned the base zoning last month, so this month we're rezoning the overlay zone. The properties are exactly the same. Yeah, okay, so if anyone has any questions, I'll be more than happy to try to answer that. But these are the exact same properties that we rezoned last month.
through. Correct. And we have maps available for those as well.
Yes, correct.
I move for approval.
Second.
Is there any questions from the audience? You got the staff report now on this one.
I do.
If there are no questions from the board, I'll call for a vote.
No, we need to read the staff report.
Okay, staff report.
Sorry. Staff report for case P20Z22, we're rezoning the US 31 Agricultural Overlay District to US 31 OIA, which is the Office Industrial Agricultural Overlay, and these are for the 9 properties that were rezoned last month. The Greater Kokomo Economic Development Alliance is requesting a change in the overlay district that covers the 9 parcels listed above. According to the City of Kokomo zoning ordinance, the OIAOL, Office Industrial Agricultural Overlay, lists several permitted uses within this overlay district, as well as the district intent. The adjoining overlay districts are as follows: to the north, OIAOL, which is the Office Industrial Agricultural Overlay; to the south, Ag Overlay, which is the Agricultural Overlay; to the east, OIA, Office Industrial Agricultural Overlay; and to the west, AGOL, which is the Agricultural Overlays. The properties specified are not featured in the current City of Kokomo Comprehensive Land Use Map, as they were recently annexed. The goal of the City of Kokomo Comprehensive Plan Transportation Map is to enhance connections throughout the city for improved safety, function, and efficiency for all modes of transportation, including vehicular, bicycle, and pedestrian networks. According to the transportation map, this area of 250 North and 200 North is located in an area defined as follows. 200 North is a minor arterial, a street that collects and distributes traffic to and from collector and primary arterial streets. Toby Pike is a minor arterial, a street designed to facilitate the collection of traffic from local streets. Also, it provides circulation within neighborhood areas and convenient ways to reach arterial street. The traffic count for the area of 250 North is 2,006 cars. This calculation is based on the nearest count based on Toby Pike. Based at Toby Pike. The staff desires that the board forward a favorable recommendation to the Kokomo Common Council.
Any questions from the board now that we've had staff report? Any questions from the audience? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of case P20Z22, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The motion is approved. It now goes to the city council and will be presented there by Councilman Griecu. Director Sheehan.
Next case tonight, Mr. President, is case P21Z22, the petition of William Bassett and Sharon Bassett requesting the Kokomo City Plan Commission petition and recommended the Common Council for change in zone classification from LI, Low Intensity Industrial Business Park, within the agricultural overlay to HI, High Intensity Industrial Heavy Manufacturing within the Office Industrial Agricultural Overlay. And this is about a little over 52 acres.
And just before we have a motion, that it is subject to and presented in, as contingent upon annexation. So we're going through that
Okay.
annexation process, simultaneously. So if you approve this zoning, it would be not effective until the annexation takes effect.
Amend my motion to make it contingent on annexation.
Correct. Thank you. Second.
Thank you.
Mr. Bassett.
Mr. Chairman, members of the Plan Commission, I am Bill Bassett. I'm here to represent the boss, my wife, Sharon, who also lives with me at 2507 Locust Lane here in Kokomo, Indiana. This ground is located on Morgan Street, directly north of the Ivy Tech campus. It extends to the north and abuts the south end of, I believe, what is now called the Star Plus Energy Project. So we're looking to do some manufacturing. I met with the Alliance Board a month or so ago, and the recommendation was to go do some manufacturing for accessory types of buildings that may be and facilities that may come in to help the energy project. So that's why we're requesting the zoning. Appreciate your consideration. Thank you.
Any questions from the board before we have staff report? Director Sheehan.
Staff report for case P21Z22. The staff report has been prepared and presented contingent upon the annexation of the subject properties. This is LI, Low Intensity Industrial Business Park, within the agricultural overlay, rezoned to High Intensity high-intensity industrial heavy manufacturing within the office industrial agricultural overlay. William and Sharon Bassett are requesting a change in zone classification for the two parcels listed above. A screenshot of said parcels have been provided below. According to the City of Kokomo zoning ordinance, HI is compatible with the following zoning districts: PR, Parks and Recreation, Agricultural, Institutional, C2, medium to large scale general commercial, MI, moderate intensity industrial light manufacturing, and LI, low intensity industrial business park. The adjoining property zonings are as follows: to the north, HI, high intensity industrial heavy manufacturing; to the south, institutional and MI, moderate intensity industrial light manufacturing; to the east, HI, high intensity industrial manufacturing; and to the west, agriculture. The properties specified are not featured in the current City of Kokomo comprehensive plan use map, as they were recently annexed or going to be annexed. The goal of the City of Kokomo comprehensive plan transportation map is to enhance connections throughout the city for improved safety functions and efficiency for all modes of transportation, including vehicular, bicycle, and pedestrian networks. According to the transportation map, this area of 200 North is located in an area described as a minor arterial, a street that collects and distributes traffic to and from collectors and primary arterial streets. The traffic count for this area of 200 North and 100 East is 3,197 cars. This calculation is based on the nearest count at the intersection of Toby Pike and Morgan Street. The staff desires that the board forward a favorable recommendation to the Kokomo Common Council.
Any questions from the board? Now we've had the staff report. Any questions from the audience? Please come forward, sir.
Well, my name's Dan Wyman. I live at 2222 North, 100 East, Kokomo. I believe our property backs right up to this parcel. And we have two sons with autism that are prone to any sort of contamination. I was just wondering what is proposed to be built there specifically. How will any contamination to soil and water be addressed? If this will be a 24/7 facility with lights and noise going on. We just recently moved from Michigan down to Indiana. The fact that a lithium battery assembly factory was not disclosed to us when we purchased the house, but we did call to find out if any changes to the farmland around was going to change. We were told no 3 months ago, but I guess that was only a 3-month warning. So those are our concerns for my family and I.
As of now, there are no plans as to what is exactly going in there. They're just rezoning the property at this point in time to get it ready to possibly sell to something. Once that happens, there would be another public hearing. Once that happens, you will be notified as an adjoining property owner. Once something, if someone buys that and wants to put it there, there'll have to be another public hearing. There'll be a site plan approval for all that and all those concerns. We would have those answers for you at that time. As of right now, sir, we just don't have those answers because we don't know. It's just, they're just getting it ready to possibly sell.
Okay, any time frame, or is this just totally up in the air right now?
This, as far as I know, it's up in the air. I've not been told of any time frame, but I think the petitioner, Mr. Bassett's just getting the land ready to sell for any prospective buyers that might come in.
Okay, thank you for.
Okay?
He will be notified, right?
Yes, he will be notified. He is an adjoining property owner. Yes, he would be notified. Correct.
Any other questions from the audience? Any questions from the board? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor of case P21Z22, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? The motion is approved. It now goes to Common Council and will be presented there by Councilman Griecu. Director Sheila.
Next case, Mr. President, is case P24Z22, a petition of Jennifer Newell requesting to the Kokomo City Plan Commission petition to recommend to the Kokomo Common Council for change in zone classification from OC Office Commercial to M2 General Multifamily Residential. This is at 2331 West Lincoln Road.
Move for approval?
Second.
renewal, 1801 South Elizabeth Street, Kokomo, Indiana, 46902. We are looking to rezone the OC off of Lincoln to M2. I have presented you guys already with our site plan. I want everyone, I know this is the second or third time somebody else has had this property rezoned and has passed. This is a whole new project. I don't want anybody to think it's the same thing because it's not. If there's any questions that I can answer for you, I do have my site developer here with me and happy to answer any questions that you guys might have.
Any questions from the board before we have staff report?
I'd like to see the overlay when you get a chance.
So the primary entrance will be off
Be off
of
of
Dixon?
Road. Yes, and this is going to also be a gated community. I know it's not time for that yet, but
Are these one story?
they are one story.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am, they are. That's why I said everything that you had heard in the past is really just a totally new, different project.
Now, by the way, the site plan it looks like they're a
It-
duplex, is that
Yes,
right?
yes,
They are?
correct.
They're one level?
Yes, and I actually sent Jessica what our layout looks like aesthetically.
How many units are you proposing on the site?
There will be 20,
This is the same way.
20 duplexes?
20, well, 10 duplexes,
This is
20
the same thing
total,
we got because
yes.
of everything I got 20 units.
They're all one story, some two bedrooms, some three bedrooms.
Are they going to be
So is the other one's future?
sold or rented?
They are going to be rentals in a gated community.
If this is the way it is, then it's way.
So we talked
It might
before
just be a
about
portion that they're
and we
rezoning.
can talk these details maybe at a different meeting.
Okay.
The,
Do they have this sub?
trash collection, street pickup, all
So
that.
what we're
was
gonna
very up in
do
the air.
is have a lighted community, and the renters of each unit will be responsible to pay for trash to come out and pick up. So if you see on the site map, where there's a turnaround, so that's big enough for a fire truck and for a trash can to come around. I don't really want there to be dumpsters because I think that's tacky. And then when people are throwing trash in, maybe they're not responsible enough to pick up their trash, and we just kind of want to stay away from all that. So they are going to be responsible for their own trash.
Includes this parcel here. And then part
What's
of
the
this parcel is
rental
this and
price
this
on a 2 or 3 bedroom?
with the rezoning. Yeah, here, part of this.
17 to 2,000, there will be background checks and credit checks provided by our own property management team.
No, but if it's there now, it's good.
Yep.
I wouldn't say that's subsidized.
Any other questions from the board before we have staff report? Director Shaline, staff report, please.
Staff report for case P24, Z22, Jennifer Newell has requested a change in zone classification for the parcel address listed above. This parcel will be utilized as single-story duplexes. According to the City of Kokomo zoning ordinance, M2 is compatible with the following zoning districts, and all zoning districts are addressed in this. Adjoining property zonings are to the north IS institutional, to the south M2 multifamily residential, R1 very low density residential, and M1 low density multifamily residential. To the east R1 very low density residential, and to the west OC office commercial. According to the City of Kokomo Comprehensive Plan Future Land Use Map, this area of West Lincoln Road is located in an area proposed for low density residential. This is an area designated for single-family housing below a density of 3 units per acre. Typical low-density housing would be single-family detached homes. Encourage orderly and responsible development to promote health, safety, and quality of life for residents in the City of Kokomo while maintaining Kokomo as a leading community for affordable housing. That's under land use goals. Under relevant land use objectives, encourage adequate land for residential, commercial, industrial, institutional, and recreational uses. Designate specific districts in the community suitable for residential, commercial, industrial, institutional, and recreational uses. The goal of the City of Kokomo Comprehensive Plan Transportation Map is to enhance connections throughout the city for improved safety, function, and efficiency for all modes of transportation, including vehicular, bicycle, and pedestrian networks. According to the transportation map, this area of West Lincoln Road is defined as a minor arterial. This is a street that collects and distributes traffic to and from collector and primary arterial streets. The traffic count for this area of West Lincoln Road is 11,406 cars. This calculation is based on the nearest traffic count located on South Dixon Road. The staff desires that the board forward a favorable recommendation to the Kokomo Common Council based on the information provided by the petitioner.
Any questions from the board now that we've had staff report? Questions from the audience?
Hold on.
Come to
So
the mic.
we're gonna do this in an orderly fashion, so please, if it's your turn to speak, come to the mic, give us your name and address before we get started, okay? And go ahead, sir, you can start.
My name is Russell Dance, 2300 Executive Drive, Kokomo, 02. I'm concerned about the trash pickup. Are they going to be part of the city, where the city would come through and empty their trash cans?
No, she said they would be, each renter would be responsible for setting up an account with some sort of trash collector, not a part of the city.
Okay, and rentals are going to be, we're concerned about a lot of the noise that rentals have, more so than before they were wanting to build condos 2-story, and now they're down to 1-story, but they're rentals. The condos were being sold, so people have more personal integrity for their property, whereas a rental, they need to pay their money and live there. And we're concerned about the deterioration of everything in general with the rentals. Thank you.
Thank you.
I would like to get up and speak to his comment. Number one, we do have what's called the Fair Housing Act, and we can't be discriminatory towards people of race, handicap, status, economically. We have to be fair to everybody, and everybody does deserve a suitable place to live. With that being said, I did state that there was going to be background checks and credit checks. But again, we do need to remember the Fair Housing Act.
Questions from the audience?
Hi, Cindy Bonnell, 2208 Executive Drive. My house is directly behind this, and I kind of had a glance at kind of what was going on, but I have, other than what I could see as you were passing it around, it looked to me like kind of the same diagram as before, but we're talking about single instead of more than one level. I worry about green space. How much green space is there going to be with 10 units locked together in 2 acres with a road down the middle? And the reason I ask that is when you're coming in with rentals, they're going to be kids. Where are these kids going to play if there's no grass? There isn't going to be much grass. I know there's been very little said about it, about how big they're going to be. Every day I go back and I look in that space to see how 2 rows of houses plus a street, room to turn around at the end because they don't want to go over the ditch or they have to do the ditch project. I don't know how this is possible and still have green space where kids can play, people can walk. And I also have a very big concern about rentals having to get their own trash care. Because when money's tight and they're going to be high-end rentals, trash is going to be the first thing they decide, well, we'll just go dump it someplace else. And so that's something I hope that you will consider. It's going to be a whole different dynamic than what we were talking about before when we were talking about condos. So I'm thankful that they are 1 story, but I think they're trying to overuse the land and not really think about the neighbors that are around there. Thank you.
Keep in mind, ma'am, all the board's looking at tonight is the rezoning of the property. If that gets approved, then there will be a site plan. That's when we will look at things like landscaping and to make sure if it doesn't fit, it's their job to make it fit. So those are the sorts of things that we will look at down the road. Absolutely. Okay.
I was going to say exactly what you said, Greg.
Okay.
I just want to add that we don't buy airspace and we don't buy green space. I've said it before. There's going to be plenty of room for everybody to do what they need to do in the neighborhood.
Hi, my name's Maureen Janicki. I live at 2201 Executive Drive. I'm also the secretary for the HOA of Executive Place. One question I have is, what is the proximity of the units to our back fence?
I believe that'll be a question that's finally
Yeah.
answered
Later.
during the
Yeah.
plat approval or planning and all that. As of right now, this is just a design concept. All we're looking at is rezoning yet again.
Do we know anything about the exterior as far as brick, vinyl,
That's a later detail coming at a different meeting.
square footage of the units, same
Later
thing, drainage?
Later
Later meeting.
Okay. And if approved, can they change their plans to more than one level? 2 or 3 stories?
They could, but it would have to come through this board through the site plan approval.
Okay.
So basically what we have, and what we're looking at today is, does it fit within the comprehensive plan? Meaning, is the zoning of the property fit for this type of development?
Okay.
Regardless of what the specifics for green space, for example, or drainage, or exterior looks, or sizing. We're not looking at that. We're looking at, can we fit that residential property or the single-story duplexes in that property? Does it fit within our map? So those are the only things we're looking at, and they have to come back for site plan items like that later.
Okay.
And if I may, the fit may mean 1 unit, the fit may mean 10. So
Okay.
that, like Greg said, it's up to them. Once this gets approved and it goes through all the process, it's up to them to make whatever it is that they propose fit. If it doesn't fit, they've got to subtract or move or rearrange or whatever it may be.
Is there a time frame on construction, or do we know that yet?
That'll all go later.
Later?
Right now, it's just.
I'm not aware of the time frame. No,
Okay.
I'm not.
All right, thank you.
Sir?
I have a question about the lighted community. What do they mean by that? You guys don't like being commercial?
Gated community.
She said lighted, but it would, they would,
Lighted.
I would assume they'll have streetlights.
private
just like
street
throughout
lights.
The city.
Yep.
Okay. I was curious about that because right now, if it's zone commercial, normally they go home at 5 o'clock and everything gets quiet and the lights are out and everything is nice. But with a lot, if they're gonna have a lot of lights, that's gonna really change everything in the community.
I would say it would be no more than what's in your community right now, but I don't know that specifically.
I mean, we don't have very many. We only got about 2 streetlights and that's it.
Well, again, there would be rules associated with that. They can only emit so much light off their property.
Correct.
So they would only be able to emit so much light off their property, which would be evaluated at the following public hearing.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the audience? Any questions from the board?
I have a question about the entrance off Dixon. Is that through an easement?
We are, yes. So I have spoke to the medical complex to the west is Dr. Blackledge, Jeremy Peel, Bossy, and then there's 2 new people in there that are psychiatrists. So I have spoken with them. I can't speak to the plans that I have with them, but we are going to get an easement, and it will all work out just fine. I have been in several meetings with Doug and Jeremy. Any other questions? Thank you.
Are you utilizing all the empty property there?
Again, I believe we're just here to rezone. That will come at a later time.
Yeah.
Any other questions from the board? Any other questions from the audience? We're calling for a rezone vote for case P24Z22. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The motion is approved. It now goes to the Common Council and will be presented there by Councilman Grieco. Thank you. Director Sheeline, other business.
I have no other business tonight, Mr. President.
Next on the agenda is approval of claims.
Down there somewhere.
Who's got it? It went that way.
You do have
Oh,
claims?
the approval of claims, I move to approve claims in the amount of $22,988.02.
Second. We have a motion and a second for approval of claims. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Claims are approved. Anyone want to go to the county meeting November 15th?
One case.
How
if I
about it?
remember
Which
correctly.
one? One big one or one little one?
One
Cheryl?
little one, I believe.
Is he lying to me?
I'm lying to you.
I saw the agenda today.
No, I think it's just one small case, I
Yeah,
believe.
I'm in.
Move to adjourn.
You're in, you're doing it, Mike?
I'll do it.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, Micah. I'm all there.
All in favor? Second. Thank you for coming.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.